What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the second episode of the Fusion Podcast. If you guys haven't already, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share and follow us on all of our socials. Today, our episode is just gonna kind of cover what should your first investment be, and just from our perspective, and give you guys some ideas.
Yeah, man, we're really gonna go over some of the key things that we thought were important to invest in the beginning. More specifically yourself, give our personal opinion and start kind of bouncing some ideas off each other. Like personally, I know when I first started, some of the most important things were time and knowledge in myself and in my craft, right? We're all in the real estate business, but in reality, there's more to investing than just the real estate business.
Right.
So you gotta put some time, a little bit of money to invest in your own knowledge and gain more experience from other people's experiences. We touched in that last episode a little bit, gaining from other people's experiences, but books, mentorships, different training videos, YouTube, where we're at right now. This is a huge platform to gain knowledge and information. And I feel like it's underestimated. And if you're just starting, you're young like we are, a beginning investor, you really got to put a little bit of time and effort into yourself and the knowledge that you have so that you can do better and make better investment decisions as you continue to move forward.
All right, I think, my bad. Go ahead.
I just said 100%.
I was just gonna say, I think what was important, what he said in there was effort.
Yes.
Like you can have the time, but if you don't put in the effort to gain some skills or gain some sort of, like you said, like some knowledge, it's gonna be harder for you to get into a space where you're investing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we were saying before, it's a mindset. So different way of looking at business, real estate, whatever you're investing in, businesses itself. But I do think that spending the time on yourself to work on yourself, whether that is learning, whether that's health, I know we were talking about that before, health, and giving yourself the time to almost better yourself,
No, that's 100%. And like kind of like how both of you said, just in general, like I feel like one of the biggest investments is learning yourself. Like how you said, learning yourself, learning what your habits are, learning what type of personality you are. But those are all things that are very underlooked, if that makes sense.
100%.
But those are all things that are super important because, obviously the way I work is different from the way you work. The way you work is different from the way he works. But if you know how you work and you know how to work more efficiently, then I feel like that's the best investment you could take in just showing and putting in that effort to learn how to do that.
And that hit very well because too, it's the systems that you create as you're continuing to learn.
Yes.
Like you're going to get knowledge and you're going to gain some experience from things, but you're going to use that to kind of better yourself in the way that you're thinking, like your mindset, how you're going to invest. Like that's almost a whole system of how you're, even to like the simple things of like going to the gym. Like building those healthy habits are super important for you to like get in that headspace and like kind of move forward and make that push.
Yeah, it's all about progress. And we talked about it last time, that journey of doing the practice and going through it, that's where you learn yourself. That's where you learn your habits. You learn what you may like or don't like and how you want to operate moving forward in the most healthy and beneficial way as possible. And that's really the effort you really got to put in a lot of effort and time into yourself to be able to get to that point. Because investing, people, when they think of investing, they think of money. And that's true. Don't get me wrong. But if you don't invest in yourself, you're not going to make smart investment choices. Because if you're not taking care of yourself and are smart and aware of the way you're taking care of yourself, who's to say that you're going to make a conscious and good decision of where you're putting your money at, right? Not to say that you can't, because you can. But at the end of the day, that's really a key thing to always make sure is you come before anything else, and you got to make sure that your health and your knowledge and well-being are being heightened in a way, right? So that
advance, you're working on it.
Exactly. All the time. It's always a process. You're always in that process. Fall in love with it and really get to know yourself while doing it. That's how you make smarter and better investment moves.
It's kind of how you said too, like the systems part. Like it's how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if one thing's off, messes everything, or it can mess everything up.
Mm-hmm.
But so I guess what I wanted to ask you guys is, what was your, most valuable investment so far?
Honestly,
Go.
I do want to say although it's like not a much of an investment at all, taking that step to get my real estate license was definitely just eye-opening in business, not like real estate. You know what I mean? Because it forced me to learn about business. And as I found myself learning that, I was like, okay, I need to learn more. You know, I need to get a little bit better understanding of like what business entails. And that's why even like going to school right now, like business school right now is kind of dope too, because it's more experience, it's more perspective that I'm getting on the business side, apart from actually being in it and doing it every day. You know, it, like, although the books can sometimes be kind of like repetitive, they also share like valuable lessons that provide you some perspective and allow you to almost better yourself, like in my case, you know?
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. I mean, when it comes to that, I definitely say my most, and it ties right to what you're saying, my first and most important investment was mentorship, right? And my mentorship came along with me getting my license for not real estate, for mortgages, right? Because the person who taught me mortgages is also my mentor. Right. And I feel like by being in this business, the same way you have, it opened my eyes to, wow, I really got to invest more time and knowledge into being better in investing, because I'm seeing it every day and I'm understanding more. And as you become more of an adult, you start to have all these responsibilities and things that come along with it.
Right.
And having a mentor, someone who's been through it or has experiences, same thing I said in the beginning, you get to, when they share those experiences with you, you're also experiencing that. You know, you may only be experiencing the good side of it because they're telling you the good side, but if they're a good mentor and they're telling you the negative sides of it as well, you can then draw from that, make wiser decisions moving forward, and just have a better understanding for, you know, what it is you're trying to invest in. So I feel like a mentor for me was the most important thing. Thank God I haven't had to pay for one yet, but you know, eventually I will. You know, like moving forward, I definitely will. You know what I mean? And I know that that's a good place to put my money, because it's going to bring me knowledge that's going to make me way more money in the future. Exactly. It's definitely key. So that's how I feel. What about you?
Yeah,
I would definitely say so. Kind of ties into what you said with real estate. Real estate was definitely it was a big investment, but it was a great investment because it forces you, it puts you in a world of real estate. So it's like you have no other choice but to learn, right? But then also comes with the connections, right? And then I also agree with you with the mentorship. So something I'm very big on is like mentorship and coaching, right? Because if you think about it, anybody who takes what they do seriously, they have a coach. Basketball players, like athletes, singers, like anybody. You know,
that's really true, dude.
Yeah, I've never thought about that.
Think about it. Anybody who considers himself a professional has a coach or a mentor. So I remember I went to an event, which was a big investment as well. But the main thing that I got from that event was that I needed a coach if I want to take myself seriously. And so first thing I did when I got back was there's this guy I look up to at my office, and I'm very like, if something's already working, I'm just gonna follow what they're doing. Right? I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel. Yeah. And so I always looked at the guy. I'm like, yo, he has some secret sauce. Like, what is it? So I asked him, and he's like, talk to this guy. And I talked to him, and, you know, he showed me his value. That's another thing too. Like, it's funny. Like, I'm big on investment, but I'm a cheap dude. Like, I'm not blame you, bro. Yeah, like it's hard for
nothing wrong with saving $1.
Come on now, you gotta save.
I'm sure y'all get the calls at the time about like, you know, trying to market you like free leads and stuff. I'm sure you get all the time, right? But so it's very hard to sell me. So, but I saw the value in him, and the biggest thing that I got from it was just communicating, just in general. Like I've always been like good with communicating, but it's way different when you're getting trained on communicating. Because it's different, like I was saying, talking to you guys versus talking to like a 70, 80-year-old. Which in our industry, we're always talking to older people.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a lot different. And then just in general too, like when I talk to people, trying to always leave a lasting impact or leading with energy, kind of how we talked about last time. But that's probably been my biggest investment.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, hey, the next investment I would say would be real estate. Can't go wrong. I'm sure you guys have seen it. I think it's like 90% of the world's millionaires are made through real estate investment.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's true. And don't get me wrong, you're not gonna make that off of one or two houses. You know what I'm saying? But getting the idea of investing in real estate, the tax benefit, like I was watching a video this morning, the tax benefits from the depreciation over time is crazy.
You can depreciate.
And your house is going to appreciate over time, so you're just gaining equity and
Bro,
value.
you can appreciate a property over 27 and a half years of the value of the property. So you divide 27 and a half years by the value of the property, and you can write that off every year.
Every year?
Yeah.
Bro, every
That's
year.
sick.
That's crazy.
I'm telling you, real estate
So
really got the
you got a
benefits.
$450,000
Yo.
house. I don't know what the math is right now, but you're saving a nice chunk of change. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. I did not know that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
bro.
No, but I mean, that's the reason why I got into real estate. Because I was like, I had the audit, I was talked about last episode, where it was like the wealthiest people in the world, they either have a business, they have stocks, or they do real estate. Right? And it's just crazy to think that like most millionaires, most people who are wealthy is do real estate.
The thing is, and there's just so many ways to go about it too. You know, and especially with like Airbnb and rental arbitrage and like all these different forms of real estate investing now, wholesaling, like that is still hot as ever.
Don't
So,
get me started on that rental arbitrage, bro.
That's what I mean. So there's just so many
on that.
different ways. I know. That's next, man. But there's just so many ways to get into it that people with money, people without money, like anybody can get into it. It's literally just about the time, the effort that you put in, because
100%.
like we were saying in the last video, you're not going to be making money right away when you get into it. You know, it's going to take the time and effort to put into whatever it is, wholesaling, rental arbitrage, Airbnb. You have to put in the time to learn about that stuff. It goes right back to knowledge, learning about that stuff so you can actually implement and actually work with. I think what you said is really good. Like you always got to work with someone. Because if you try and do everything by yourself,
It's all about leverage too. Like, because it's why do you want to make it hard on yourself and having to learn the whole thing rather than just pairing up with somebody? And even if you have to split it or, you know, give them something or whatever it is, why not just do it that way where it's easier? And once you learn the process one time, now you can duplicate it over and over and over. And you can start teaching it to people. And that's when you really start to learn that skill. Once you start to teach it.
Once you start teaching it, you really understand. You're teaching yourself while you're teaching it, so you get a better grasp and understanding of what it is you're trying to do. The other part that goes hand in hand with that is when you're learning with other people, you need to continue to surround yourself with people of like-minded, you know, that are like-minded, that want to invest as well, or maybe they have already done it. If you're the dumbest in the room, that's okay, but you want to have that mindset that's the same as theirs so that you get into that level. And on top of that, when you take it and you learn from them, something we say here in this office all the time is Control C, Control V, copy and paste. And it's not taking the exact, but you're supposed to learn from them, copy it, mimic it in your own fashion, as long as it worked. Like if it works and you're doing something that's not working, you look at what they're doing, copy it a little bit, see how it's working, and take it, put it in your own perspective, your own way, and paste that shit, make it work. And that's really, that comes down to working with more people who are already doing it, continue to surround yourself with those people that are trying to push you to be better, and then implement it. I can't stress enough that there's tons of ideas that come and go. Writing them down does help, but executing, have 2 or 3 solid plans or ideas that you want to execute on and go hard on that. And then you continue to do that every time. Once you achieve those 3, you go for the next 3 and go for the next 3. But just don't let the amount of ideas that are coming to you disrupt what you're trying to do specifically right now. Because once you start having too much, you start getting all these different ideas in your head. You're going around and around in circles,
exactly
like hone in on what it is you want at first, focus, gain your knowledge, and then implement. Put action. Like you really got to do. And that comes with effort as well.
I think that comes with the team too, you know?
Oh, 100%.
Because like, I don't know who said it, if it was me or one of you guys that executing by yourself is way harder.
Oh, way harder.
Way harder. You know, if you have, like, that's one person that's supposed to be good at everything. Instead of maybe having 5 people who they're good at one thing. And they can all help you get something done, you know?
But that's a good investment too. Being, like, surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Or, you know, if you want to get better at this, surround yourself with people who are good at that. And you will become better because you are the average of the 5 people, you know, you're closest with. So, like, with anything I try to do, it's like, okay, if I want to do this, I'm going to look for this person that does it at a level that's respectable, right? I'm not going to follow someone who's new unless, you know, we're trying to learn together.
Yeah.
But even so, like, if I want the best results, I'm going to go for whoever's killing it. And I'm going to go for them. I'm going to be like, yo, that's another thing too. How can I help you? Because all the time what they get is, I want, right? So if you have someone coming up to you telling you, I want, you're most likely not going to want to deal with them and work with them, right?
Yep.
But if you have somebody coming up to you saying, hey, this is what I want to do, but I want to see how I can help you. I want to serve first, right? It's a way different story.
Yeah, when someone comes up to you and is like, hey, man, I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing, and I kind of want to do what you're doing, but how can I help you?
Yeah. How can I bring you value?
That comes out way better than someone who's like, hey, man, I just want to do what you do. Let me get your systems.
Let me get it. Come on. Like, it's not going to work that way.
No.
100%.
All right. So another question I'll ask. I know we're going to cut things short soon, but if you have no money, what do you guys recommend someone to invest in?
I say continue to try to gain free knowledge as much as possible on things that you like and enjoy, because I think that's key. If you want to invest in something, you got to enjoy it. You got to have some sort of passion for it, even if you don't have it yet, and continue to work. Work your ass off, make money working. Okay. I'm not talking about making money investing. Work your 9 to 5, work 2 jobs, do a little side hustle, do what you need to do to make money while you're trying to gain knowledge, because the knowledge will only be valuable if you have some sort of money. So go put some work in, make a little bit of money, sacrifice for a little while so that you already have that knowledge handy. It doesn't make any sense to work real hard, make a bunch of money, and then be like, all right, let me go get this knowledge and go invest. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Make your money and get your knowledge at the same time. It's hard work, but then when you're ready and you've got the money, it's full go mode. You know, you're going hard and you invest. That would be my suggestion. That's how I've been doing it and how I'm continuing to do it. And I think that's in my personal best way to do it. What about you, though?
Me, bro, I think the same thing. And I think definitely free knowledge, bro. Google will tell you everything you want to know. If you are wondering, how do I wholesale? Go on Google.
Search it up.
How do I wholesale real estate? It will come up. Go on YouTube. There's tons of video and great valuable content, by the way. I have watched a bunch, and there's great valuable content that is out there that will help you get the knowledge before having the funds to actually make your investments. So personally, I would say go get some knowledge, take the time, spend your time that you're not working to get funds, spend that time to go and acquire more knowledge, connect with other people, go network with people that are interested in the things that you're interested in. So that way you can have those people nearby you when you do have the funds. And maybe they're interested in investing as well, and you can get together instead of having to do it by yourself.
Yeah, truthfully, like I was gonna say something else, but literally what they said was perfect. So like, what's funny is with what he said, whenever someone asks me something like, "Hey, like how to do this," I say GTS. You know what GTS is?
No.
Google that shit.
Yo, I felt that.
GTS, Google that shit.
I'm taking that.
You
I'm
can
telling
find anything on Google, and YouTube University. Oh my god,
YouTube University has
it's key, bro. It's key.
Let me tell you, YouTube University has an immense amount of graduates. Not official, but they probably do.
You can find anything on YouTube. But then the other thing is like how he said as well. Use your resources, but put yourself in these networking events or connection places where you're able to connect with people. And just in general, like if you want to get better at something, go to where those people are.
Yeah.
And then connect with those people. And eventually, if you do or if you come with the place of service where you're like, hey, I like what you're doing, I want to learn how to do it. How can I help you in your next one? Or how can I help you? How can we pair up? Like, and if anybody comes up to me, said that to me, I'll be like, yo, bet, I got you. I'll plug you in. Because I'm the type of person, right? And not everybody's going to be like that.
Right.
But if you want to help, why would they say no? Like, there's no reason for them to say no. So I definitely say Google that shit. And just surround yourself with people who are trying to do what you're trying to do. That's free. You don't need to pay money for that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. One last thing I want to touch on, because you mentioned it just now by helping, right? Something I think is key and what I found is my passion and what I do now, right, is I teach loan officers. I do. Here in the office, like I train, right? So the reason I like training is because I'm helping. And I think that it's key that when we're talking about investing is a lot of take, right? But just as much as taking, it's giving. You have to give unconditionally and it will come back to you. And giving is helping others. You always have to be willing to give a lending hand to someone who's in need. And don't question it. Don't ask yourself, what am I going to get from giving them help? That's not a question you should ever ask yourself. You give unconditionally and the universe will provide back to you in tenfold every time. It really does work that way. You may not feel like it in that moment, but that shall pass. Like it will pass. It will come to you. Have faith in that. And I think that helping others is key to being a good human being in life and being successful in that way. You know what I mean? You'll surround yourself with even better people. People will want to surround themselves around you instead of you trying to find others to surround yourself with. People want to be around you, and then you're a center of influence, right? So I think it's very key. Be helpful, be helpful, be helpful.
My boy spitting facts.
Come on
that
now.
was good. That was good. That's what's up.
Hey, man. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like we said in the beginning, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts, check out our YouTube. Come chill with us and follow us on all of our socials. They're in the link in our bios. Make sure y'all there. Check us out next week. And if you have anything you want us to cover specifically, please leave us a comment down below. And we'll see you next week.
We out.
Out.
That shit was probably loud.
Yeah. That shit was fire though, bro. That shit was good.